Here we are, relatively speaking, in the same place we were 1 year ago, with Twitch kind of imploding in real time. You remember last week when Asmongold went on a bit of a rant and had a bit of a take about the current conflict in the Middle East, and well, he let loose his raw, unfiltered opinions about which side of the conflict he wished would win, the drastic measures that one side should take as opposed to the other, because he believes that there is a obviously good and obviously bad side to that conflict. It is one in which that I vehemently disagree with, because I have a different set of facts than he does, which apparently, I don't know, he just cultivates them from mass media, which I'm not necessarily going to hold against them. It's kind of the bog standard boilerplate take that most people have. Well, I think before people hop into the political arena, they generally consider themselves to be default Democrats, thinking that the Democrats are just simply going to look after you, that they are, they're not like those racist or misguided Republicans, and the Republicans is just the party of the upper class, the tax cuts for the wealthy, as opposed to the Democrats that are just for everyday people. They don't quite get into the minutia of all of the weird stuff that's been going on lately, even though I think more of that stuff has probably seeped into the popular culture in no small part due to the Republicans, and by Republicans I mean Donald Trump Republicans. But I digress. Going back to Asmongold here, he ended up, getting slapped with a 14-day Twitch suspension, which is going to end up running up right until the end of the month. I think that's probably when it's all going to be settled. But he ended up, elaborating a little bit further on his apology, saying that it was poorly worded. He regrets his statements. It was a full-throated apology, which, in general, if you think that you did something wrong and you want to apologize for it, go for it. It didn't end up reflecting terribly well on him, and a lot of people were saying never back down, never offer them an apology. The nebulous them that are out there. But hey, if he thought it was the right position, again, I think that he has the right to say what he said to begin with. And if he wants to offer an apology to whomever is out there, or if he just simply wanted to acknowledge his screw-ups, totally fine with that as well. But it's really interesting to see, because now we have a one-to-one comparison to what happens on both sides of this conflict. But let's just focus on Asmongold here and kind of put a bow on this situation, because I'm sure we'll probably talk about, the things that he is discussing in the future, post-suspension, because, well, after the election, for better or for worse, I think that a lot of people are going to start to shift. And I think, depending on what happens after the election between now and inauguration, it's going to be a very interesting time. But for the most part, in 2025, we'll be able to put most of this stuff behind us in general. But streamer Asmongold recently issued, a very glowing apology. Wherever this was filmed. On his YouTube channel. Okay, cool. Issued an apology for his comments, about what's going on in the Middle East, and provided more clarity about his post to his subreddit about why he did so earlier this week. Asmongold commented on some very strong positions that he had. Terrible people, a lot of old boomer con opinions about turning the place into a parking lot, and it's like, hey, yeah, we get it. You haven't really updated your programming, you haven't really seen or had clarified which side is blowing up hospitals, schools, daycares, just rather innocuous neighborhoods because tunnels underneath. It's a position, definitely a position. Asmongold then asserted that he doesn't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them. And again, you can be wrong, but you have a right to say it. After the clip went viral on, everywhere, he took to Twitter. Looking back on it, I was way too much of an asshole about the Palestine thing. My bad. Of course, no one deserves, to have their life destroyed, even if they do things or have views I find regressive. You guys deserve more than me saying stupid crap like that. I'll do better. And that's fine. Because while he'll opine on divisive topics, it's very rare that you see him just immediately snap like that. If he wants to take a moment to issue an apology on that, that's fine. Don't really care. I didn't need an apology. Theoretically, I said diametrically opposed to his position, but people, of course, seized on that opportunity. He's lost sponsorships, stepped away from companies, and then those companies came back and backstabbed him. And frankly, all of that back and forth doesn't really entertain me in the least bit. It's just very funny. It's very funny to see somebody immediately get action taken against them because they line up on one side of this conversation as opposed to the other, which, yeah, at the time we were drawing comparisons to what Hasan has said in the past and how Twitch has just simply turned a blind eye to it. We ended up having, well, a Hasan proxy. A Hasan mod, in fact, one of his orbiters, this Frogan individual. In the clip, which for the longest time was up there, this went wild over the past weekend. Yeah, partnered Twitch streamer, okay, Frogan, proclaims that she hopes all American soldiers get yeeted or get PTSD. Which, yeah, spoilers. I think that she's a shitty person for having that opinion, and if this were a free, open, honest society, she should still have a platform to say that. Want to expose yourself as being a piece of shit? By all means. But when this went wild on the 19th and it ended up getting shared around over the weekend all the way into Monday, it was up there and live for the world to see. In fact, so much so, it took multiple days for Twitch to realize that, oh yeah, this is actually looking really bad for us and we're going to have to make a statement on this. And yeah, we are going to have to take action because, yeah, recently for somebody on the other side of this, yeah, we took swift action, but we kind of forced our own hand. God damn it. Twitch streamer Frogan has been banned from the platform for 30 days after apologizing for saying she hopes U.S. troops get PTSD during a stream. Oh, no, she went much further than that, but okay. In mid-October, Twitch streamer Frogan, who was also known for being a chat moderator for Hasan Piker, sparked backlash after comments she made on the platform about U.S. soldiers. The streamer said that she has no pity for soldiers, adding that she hopes that that those in the U.S. get post-traumatic stress disorder. And I hope you get no healthcare insurance when you get back to America. Okay? That's a big thing for these weird westernized Muslim socialists, which I'm sure your family is very pleased with all of your poor choices. Frogan's comments soon spread like wildfire, with many calling on Twitch to ban her, similar to how Asmongold was banned, yes, about his remarks for Palestine. Yeah, exactly. Twitch, you banned Asmongold, so I'm sure, so I assume you'll be consistent, right? Yeah, like I said before, if everything was equal, Frogan and Asmongold should not be banned. But this is Twitch we're talking about. They are anything but fair, honest, and upright. Others pointed out that Twitch's own community guidelines list veteran status as a protected characteristics and believe Frogan violated the site's hateful conduct policies. Well, there you go. If you had stupid-ass Casey-tron post all of the things that Asmongold was in violation of, try to use that as justification for him catching a 14-day ban, you'd think something as cut and dry would have led to an immediate ban, not having to wait 2, 3, 4 days later in order for them to move on this. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yes, Frogan's comment spread. The streamer addressed the backlash on X, saying she didn't mean all military members. No, of course, I didn't say all of it. That means that it should be banned, right? I just mean the ones that, conducted some of the most horrific crimes against humanity in the modern era. Against Iraqis, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. My anger is directed at those individuals who are currently championing these war crimes as if they liberated my people. I don't know, something like that. It's interesting you're making these posts and making these comments in the westernized country that is protected by those men and women that you denigrate and say that you want to have afflicted with PTSD or just simply outright be deleted. But yeah, no, there are some people that do some bad things even when they're told to do as much by their commanding officer in the armed forces. I don't disagree with any of that stuff. There was a lot of crazy stuff that did go down in a bunch of those places. Hell, in some of the latter examples, there was a former president that I'm sure that you would have simped for, and your boss Hasan very much did in the form of Obama with his drone strikes. I wonder what your opinion on his actions are. I wonder if you'd be brave enough to vocalize those. But yeah, that was the double down on that. And then all of a sudden, now she wants to apologize, hoping to, I don't know, somehow mitigate her suspension. The beginning of the clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that. Right. So she doesn't actually apologize for saying what she said about it, just how you took it. Just the verbiage was a little bit off. And yeah, as community notes have pointed it out, she initially doubled down. Her apology only came after her complaints. And yeah, she's only apologizing because you ended up taking that wrong. Because, you didn't open your chauvinist Western pig ears well enough to hear what I was actually saying. The big difference between the apology that Asmongold sincerely offered as opposed to this backhanded, oh my god, just let me back on the channel, just let me back on the site so I can go back with the rest of my other echo chamber armies so that we can continue to try to subvert the West while living and thriving over there. But this is why people have such a diminished opinion about what goes on over on Twitch. This is why it is becoming synonymous as a social media platform with that of Reddit. Now, I've talked about in the past, maybe not recently or not, but whenever I want to check out a new game and I'm checking to see if anybody's streaming it, I might go over to Twitch because I like Maximilian Dude. I think he's probably one of the best gameplay focused channels. He gets on my nerves sometimes, but in general, like, he's a super positive guy to a point where I think it kind of affects his opinions in the moment of a game. But in general, I like him. I like what he does. He's very engaging, incredibly good streamer. And yeah, whenever he's playing a game that I'm interested in checking out, I'll go over to Twitch and wade through the miles and miles of ads over there on that platform just to see what he's doing and check it out and see if it's a game that's worth either covering or potentially playing at a later date. But recently he ended up getting out of his exclusivity deal, or that time ended up running out, and now he has the opportunity to stream over on YouTube. And very recently, within the past week or so, had his first stream on YouTube, and he just about had 10,000 people check out him talk about, I think it was like a Microsoft event, and then also play old ass Dino Crisis of all things. And he had, like, at least at the time when I checked it out, like 9,000 people on the stream. I'm not too sure what it topped out at. And then in subsequent streams, still had thousands and thousands of people over there. Still has a big following over on Twitch because, yeah, he's been streaming over there for a long time. But just going to show you just how disposable of a platform Twitch really is at this point in time. Just how people, even if they did build a platform over there, are looking to branch out in other areas because even they can see that, ooh, yeah, single platform viability, especially a place that is just so synonymous with bad takes, with overly censorious moderation. Yeah, I should start looking at other places to host my content, because if they're willing to put up with crap like this, to put up with crap like Hasan says, how he celebrated the death of Queen Elizabeth II, then there's a reason that your site is contracting and that you're having to remove different features. You're having to phase out the Amazon Prime subscription. But hey, at this point in time, you get what you deserve. If you want to become a commie echo chamber, you can go ahead and face a similar fate to the rest of BreadTube. You want to be the box for the bread, by all means, but understand the tides, they are a-changing, and it's not going in your direction anymore. And so with all that said, and before I sign off, I'm just trying to do a little experiment here before the end of the year, so just forgive the shilling here for a moment, okay? If you'd like a little bit more of a comprehensive breakdown on the previous video on the day, the big long, just about hour-long video that I did to kick off about Kamala and Trump, you know, feel free to check out the last 5 minutes or so on that one. But 4 videos a day throughout the end of the year. Got a lot of old back catalog that I think you guys would still enjoy. A bunch of evergreen topics, but hey, man, still some stuff that I want to get out of the closet and for the rest of the world to enjoy. I've also enabled memberships if you're looking for interesting, or if you're looking for additional ways rather to support the channel and support my hard work. I've been hard at this stuff for 4 years now. Haven't missed a single day. 3 videos a day, kicking it up to 4 throughout the end of the year. So yeah, I think 3 different tiers over on YouTube, or if you don't want to give away 30% over to YouTube, feel free to hop on over to locals. Not very good at shilling that, but yeah, I've had that open for a while now. It's just basically all support channels. I'll hopefully figure out something to do in 2025 with those, and hopefully, and I think on the membership side of things on YouTube, you'll be able to check out all of the videos that I do have back in the cut. So if you wanna take a look at some of those ones that have yet to be released, feel free. There's so many of them at this point. I don't actually know the numbers of count, or the number count, but there's literally dozens of videos yet to be released. But go ahead and do that. 3 different levels. So it's like $1, $5, $10. It's nothing. It is just people have reached out before and saying, you know, I'm looking at different ways of supporting you. That's just a way that, you know, I could turn that on and make it as easy as possible. Feel free to do that. Just, you know, if you want to subscribe, and of course, feel free to do that. If you've watched this long, I do appreciate you for sure. And normally, like I said, don't really like to show for this stuff. Just running an experiment, seeing if there really is a noticeable uptick. If you make a call for action at the end of of your video, but yeah, feel free to subscribe. And if you're looking for a different way to support, if you've been checking it out for a while, or if you just simply like the commentary that you hear, you've got the join button, I think, after you press the subscribe button or something like that, and that's how you get to memberships. But realistically, I'm just trying to get the word out there, because I don't know what else to do at this point in time, other than I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.